Hello everyone, and welcome to this short demo on ISI's database on statelessness and human rights, containing recommendations issued by different UN human rights bodies on nationality, statelessness, and human rights. With this demo, I want to explore the basic features of the database and introduce 3 different queries in order to demonstrate how different users can utilize the database. Let's begin. At the top of the database, you can see 2 links, an about the database link that shows you all the information that you need to know about the database, and a database user guide link guiding the user on how to navigate the database. On the left side of the database, you can see the filters that we've used to filter down the recommendations, and on the right side of the database, you can see the actual results. The filters that we've used to filter down the database is by geographical region, so you search by the country or region in which the country belongs to that has received the recommendations. The UN body, right now in the database, you can find recommendations issued by the UPR, the CRC, the CEDAW, and the CMW, and we're working on expanding the database. You can also filter the recommendation by themes. There are 5 general themes: stateless persons, nationality, children, discrimination, and implementing measures. Stateless persons contains recommendations that talk about the treatment, protection, and status of stateless persons. The general theme comes with specific themes: detention, protection and enjoyment of rights, lack of documents and access to documentation, identification and determination procedures, and so on. The general theme nationality includes recommendations that aim at ensuring the right to nationality for all and prevent statelessness. It comes also with specific themes like loss and deprivation, the right to nationality in a forced or not migration context, access to nationality, and so on. The general theme children, that it contains recommendations aiming at realizing the child's right to nationality and preventing statelessness through the lens of children, again coming with specific themes like children born on territory, foundlings and unaccompanied children, and so on. Discrimination is the next general theme. It includes recommendations that aim at the prevention of discrimination in access to nationality and preventing statelessness that has been caused by discrimination. You can see as specific themes different grounds of discrimination. And the last general theme is the implementing measures that includes recommendations that aim to realize the right to a nationality, prevent statelessness, and protect the status of stateless persons through specific measures like in international instruments, data collection and monitoring, legislative or administrative or judicial actions, and so on. Apart from the theme, we have also filtered down recommendations based on the year of their publication and their direct reference to statelessness. Some recommendations may refer to statelessness, but rather indirectly by approaching the issue through the right to nationality, for example. So you can select whether there has been a direct reference to statelessness in the recommendation or not. You can also search with keywords. So for example, you can click the Rohingya here and filter down recommendations per keyword. And you can also find a theme key that includes how general themes have been color-coded and appear on this side of the database. So let's explore 3 different queries. For the first query, I am a member of the Women's Rights NGO in Nepal, and I'm engaged in advocacy work on the issue of gender discrimination and equal nationality rights. As the Citizenship Amendment Bill is still under debate in my parliament, I'm advocating for it to address gender inequality. So I would like to have more information on previous recommendations issued to Nepal on this matter. So I go to the database, I click on Nepal, and as I'm interested in the specific theme of gender discrimination, I click gender. So with these two clicks, I have identified the different recommendations issued by different UN bodies on the issue of gender inequality in nationality laws. So let's say that as I know that Nepal will be under UPR review soon, I would also like to advocate about the issue on an international level. So I require information on previous recommendations issued to Nepal on this matter within the UPR process in order to examine whether Nepal has accepted these recommendations and if the country has followed up on them and who actually made the recommendations in order to define my allies. So what I need to do is go back to the database, click on the UPR, and click on whether the recommendation has been accepted or noted. So you can see that the UPR has a bit of a different filtering system. So you can also add the reporting cycle and the recommended state, but let's stick to that. So I have found now 5 results, and if I expand the recommendations, I can see that the countries that have made recommendations on the right to nationality in nationality laws are Spain, Hungary, and New Zealand. So with one extra click, I can now identify my international allies and advocate jointly on the issue. So let's move on to the second example. For the second example, I am a researcher researching on citizenship issues relating to children, and I would like to know relevant recommendations that have come up in the database in respect of countries in Europe and the Americas during the last 5 years. So I go back to my database, I clear my searches, I choose my geographical location, which is Europe and the Americas. I click on my theme, which is children. And as I'm interested in the last 5 years of recommendations, I click 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, and 2015. Confirm. So I can see that there are 109 recommendations on the theme children in Europe and the Americas for the last 5 years. Now, if I want to further narrow down my search, I can always limit it by choosing, for example, a direct reference to statelessness. So if I want the recommendations to directly refer to statelessness, I click true, confirm, and see how limited the recommendations are. So I think also it's a nice opportunity for me to show you how actually the results pop up in the recommendation. So you can see here that the country under review is Bosnia and Herzegovina. The date of the publication of the recommendation comes up here. The body that has issued the recommendation, Committee on the Rights of the Child. The 2 general themes that come up in the recommendation, this is children and implementing measures according to my theme key. I expand the recommendation, I review it, I can see that words have been bolded for me: statelessness, citizenship, and nationality. And also in italics, I can find operative language. The specific themes come on the bottom. I can expand and collapse. There is a link to the original document. If there has been a direct reference to statelessness is marked also here, and the document number. So let's move on to the third query. Let me clear my search. So for the third query, I am a member of the CMW committee, and I am preparing for the review of a state party where problems have been flagged in the treatment of stateless migrants and refugees. And I'm interested in recommendations issued by the CMW in relation to stateless persons and the protection and enjoyment of their rights, detention, identification and determination procedures, and all that in a forced migration context. So I click on CMW. I click on protection and enjoyment of rights of stateless persons, detention, identification and determination procedures, and forced migration context. Confirm. And now I can see the jurisprudence of the CMW on these issues. If I want to examine what my fellow bodies have said on the issue, with one click, I can just go from the CMW to the CRC and examine the CRC's jurisprudence on the issue. So with these queries, I wanted to demonstrate how different users can utilize the database in their advocacy and litigation efforts on the issue of the right to nationality and statelessness. I hope this tool proves helpful to you. Thank you.